Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my review of Cats. Yes, Cats. Now, before we get into talking about this film, I need to tell you about a buddy of mine who really loves the movie Interstellar. When Interstellar, the Christopher Nolan project, came out several years ago, you could not have a conversation with him without him talking about Interstellar. He would find some way, often a creative way, of bringing up this film, and your conversation didn't end until you pretty much signed on the dotted line that you were going to see it. He loved it, and he would tell anybody and everybody about it. I kind of feel that Warner Brothers should have paid him a royalty for all of the promotion that he did for this film. Whether he was going through a Tim Hortons drive-thru, a grocery store checkout, whatever. I don't think he would date a girl if she didn't want to see Interstellar. It was just out of control. But he talked it up so much that by the time you would see the film, a lot of people would be like, I enjoyed it, but I just didn't feel what you felt because he talked it up so much. I bring this up because over the last couple of weeks, all I've been hearing about is how bad Cats is, how terrible Cats is. It's made so many worst of movie lists. It's just been completely panned. Everyone's saying that it's absolutely atrocious. So I wanted to see for myself. Now, I saw Cats at a theater, and I didn't like it. I do like theater, I do like musicals, but Cats isn't one for me that resonated with me. I like Rent, I like Chicago, give me some Phantom of the Opera, but Cats, I just never really cared for it. So right off the bat, you're dealing with somebody who wouldn't want to go and see the play again. If you put me in the middle of Broadway and you said, okay, you can go see any 10 shows, Cats is not cracking my top 10. With all due respect to Andrew Lloyd Webber, he's made other great plays. That, to me, just wasn't one of them. So I went into this film, and I saw it. And I came out of it thinking to myself, I think it's been a little overblown in terms of how, quote-unquote, bad this film is. I think the first thing you have to ask yourself is, what did you expect? Not in the sense of, didn't you expect it to be bad, but didn't you expect it to be a little odd that you would have people like Dame Judi Dench and people like Taylor Swift and Idris Elba dressing up in cat uniforms and expecting it to be a fantastic movie? I think at that point we need to tailor our expectations. I didn't expect to see a fantastic movie. I expected to see a rendition of a Broadway musical. That's what I got. Not a Broadway musical that I enjoy, but a Broadway musical that's heralded, that has a lot of storied history to it. I think it's something like the 4th longest running musical on Broadway. Okay. Did I like the songs? No, I didn't like the songs when I saw them in the play, but there are some songs, of course, like Memory, that are fantastic, and Jennifer Hudson does such a phenomenal job with that. But it's not really the Jennifer Hudson singing show when we're looking at a film. The bigger question for me is, was this film necessary? And you can kind of go either way on that. On the one hand, sure, it's necessary. It's one of the longest running plays. This is an opportunity to try to monetize on it. An opportunity that failed, but it was an opportunity nonetheless. But then there's the other side of me that says, of course it wasn't necessary. Why do humans need to dress up like cats? It kind of brings me back to that old film with Will Smith and Donald Sutherland and Stockard Channing, 6 Degrees of Separation. Fantastic film. And one of the underlying subplots in that was that Will Smith's character was convincing all these very affluent people that his father, Sidney Poitier, was doing a rendition of Cats, and then all these people wanted to be involved with it. So there is that audience of people that really enjoy it. What I'm saying is that if you're the type of person that likes Cats, the musical, or just likes musical theater in general, there's a lot of things in this film that you'll appreciate. The choreography is done extremely well, and no easy task there. A lot of the songs are very enjoyable. But if you're just, going into a film without that level of appreciation, expecting to be blown away, well, no, you're not going to be. So I don't feel that this is in any way, shape, or form the worst film of 2019. It doesn't even crack my top 10, to be honest. Am I looking forward to going to see it again? No, once was enough. But I just feel that the whole feeling of this being one of the worst films of the year is some commentary that is being greatly misplaced. We saw with Star Wars, Rise of Skywalker, excuse me, a lot of critics came out and said, it's the worst Star Wars movie out there. And as a result, the box office for it hasn't been as great as I'm sure Disney would have liked. Other studios would look at the box office for this Star Wars film and would be thrilled. For Disney, with the year they've had, this film might be looked at as a bit of a disappointment because I'm sure they would have liked it to have been a little stronger. And that, I feel, is based on a lot of critics coming out and saying it's so bad. Just because you have the loudest voice in the room doesn't always make you right. I don't think that this is this terrible movie. I think this is a film for a specific audience. That specific audience are people who like the musical or people who like musical theater. There are a lot of things that they do in this film that are very entertaining. Overall, not for me, but I can appreciate that it would be for others. I give this film a C. If you have the chance to see Cats, and I know that's not going to be a lot of you, let me know what you think. CFL_found on Twitter, Facebook.com/WittyWhittier, and WittyWhittier.com. Thanks so much for checking this out. My name is Keith, and I'll see you at the movies.